Oh, hi. Hi. Can anybody hear me? Oh, okay. Uh, it seems like there's a delay, so I will start. Okay. Um, this is my first live streaming, and I want to do it very quick. And I just received this kit yesterday, so I want to, do a review on this kit today. Give me a minute. Okay, I'm gonna start. This is the brand new Meng's 112 scale McLaren MP4, a very famous Formula One car, and it's the first 112 scale plastic model from Meng as it ventured into Formula One arena. And let's have a look at the box. So this is the side panel. We have the top shot of the car, and also some I think these are the history and the kit info. And then down here we have the color recommendation. They recommend 8K interactive color. I don't know why. Maybe because 8K sponsor the kit. And here we have a profile of the car. And car model makers knows that when we paint car, we use mostly we use what do you call that kind of paint? Like a. So let's open the box. Try to remember what that paint is called. It's not urethane, but the lacquer. We like to paint the car with lacquer. So here is a box open, and it's fully packed with sprues. And let's take the sprue out one by one. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6. These are small sprues. 7 and 8. These two are identical. Then 2 small sprues of wheels, one front and one back, rear wheels. And here's, I lost count. Here's another sprue on the rear wing. And here's the main body and the bottom tray. And here is the monocoque. Front wing, and also part of the rear wing, I believe. Then last, we have the a big tray. This is part of the monocoque, front of the monocoque, part of the front wing, and also the bottom part of the bottom tray, side panel of the car body. And here is a pack of metal suspension arms. These are die-cast metal, quite hard. And then we have a bag of screws, screwdrivers, and some tubings. Okay. And here are the tires. Instruction booklet, quite thick. and also the promotion, the announcement of the model competition. And then here we have a back, there's some hot stamped silver decal, some a few large sheets of decals. This is the safety belt materials, and then a piece of photo edge for the mesh in the radiator. Okay, then let's look at the kit parts. Here we have the main body and the bottom tray. It's molded in a light gray plastic, quite unusual for car models. Usually either molded in the color of the actual car, like red for Ferrari, etc., and then white. Mostly, most of the injection of car models are, made in white plastic. Okay, if I look at it from the front, there might be a slight distortion on the side panel. I'm not sure it's correct or not. Anyways, it's not symmetrical. Maybe it's the camera angle. Okay, I may be wrong. But anyway, it sort of bend inward on the bottom part of the side panel. I'll let you judge the shape of the body. Kind of not sure it is 100% correct. Yeah. Curvature here. And also the shape of the top part of the back. Anyways, you can look at it and judge it for yourself. Now, here you go. Here's the top. Take this off. And one interesting thing is they've molded the demarcation of the red area onto the model with a slight indentation. Now, I never seen anybody did that before, so this is unusual treatment. And for the front, here you go, the slight indentation. Now it's kind of strange, because if you assume the paint will have its thickness, then the red area should actually be recessed, but in this case the red area is protrude from the white area. So once you paint it, the steps between the white color and the fluorescent red color will be even more. This is a pretty strange treatment. Strange. Usually we have a very, very fainted line to indicate the demarcation line. This is strange. Anyway, here you go. This is the main body, the body shell, and then we come to the bottom tray, or the base of the car, of the body. This looks pretty nice. Well, obviously it's not 100% accurate according to the real car, but it's still kind of nice. I think the diffuser is kind of thick. That's the limitation of injection molding. And also here is the anchor point for the bottom of the rear wing side plate. It's a bit toyish, should I say. There's actually a bracket on the rear car. There's a bracket fixing the bottom part of the wing, of the end plate. So here, this area is a bit thick. You know? Even though it's not like paper thin on the real car, but it's not that thick. Anyways, so here's the bottom tray. And then next, let's look at the monocoque. I'll do this slowly. I'm very nervous. It's because it's been a long time since I go on air live. Like, there's no turning back. I can say something wrong, and there's no turning back. Okay, here is the monocoque. Yeah. Obviously, it's difficult to duplicate the texture of the carbon fiber on the monocoque, because there are certain different texture of the carbon fiber on the monocoque. And here is the again the demarcation between the two different types of carbon fiber. And I think this is it looks okay. I think the way they did this part is it's quite accurate, because this was covered with a plate in the real car. You know, it's not like a complete solid shell of monocoque. This actually has a different metal plate covering it. Okay. Well, I must say it's kind of like the way they mold their tank. I think it lacked a little bit of finesse. And also this rivet, it's not really like that. They just mold rivets on it. It's actually with a little circle, sort of like a washer underneath the rivet-like thing in the real car. Okay, then I'll go to the sprue one by one. I'm not following any particular sequence, because it's going to take a lot of time trying to figure that out. So here's the first sprue I open up. There are two sprues. This one is rear wing, RW. Rear wing. No. Looks okay. And then here we have part of the engine. Here's the cover of the engine. Nicely detailed with the Honda logo. Here's the other side. And this, I don't know what this is called, but anyway, this is on top of the engine. This is a unique feature of this engine. It has a pretty nicely texture, which do look like the real car. Except this connecting part is a bit, again, it's because of the injection molding limitation, it's a bit thick. Now it seems like there's no bottom part to cover the thing up. This thing is this feature should be a complete complete item by itself, with only six tubes going down to the engine. I think this is fitting the carburetor of the engine. And here is the part of the gearbox. This is part of the engine. And then the foot pedal, the brake pedal, the gas pedal, and all that. And here's the instrument panel. And here's the ducting of the turbocharge. I think it's and I assume this is the brake disc, or it's the it's part of the engine. No, this is the clutch of the engine. Nice, they have even make the clutch. Oh, I don't know what these are. Part of the engine, some of the maybe the oil reservoir and all that. And here are the two support plate for the rear wing. Looking at the shape, I think these are the parts of the rear wing support. Anyways, okay, so let's look at the next bag of sprues. But these two are the same, so let's look at one. Okay, these are the brake discs. Decent details. The brake. Pretty much simplified if you compare it with a real disc. And these two must be the radiator housing. These two. One is cooler for the turbo. One is the cooler for the engine, for the oil. Oh, this must be a stand for something. It looks like a stand for the car body, when you want to display the car body in an open way, you know, off from the car. Nice idea. Let's look at other big sprue. Again, here we have a large sprue and a small sprue. The small one, well, these are some of the hardware for the safety belt, and this must be part of the radiator housing. These left and right, two part to make the radiator housing. And this is part of the engine. Suspension arm, shock absorbers and part of the engine. Steering wheel, the electronic on top of the monocoque. I think this is oil cooler at the back of the rear, at the rear of the gearbox. This is the front. No, this is the rear suspension. Part of the shock absorber. Here's some of the electronics, computer electronics and computers at the side of the radiator housing. Another one of those. This is a wrench for fixing the wheel onto the wheel axle. So it's it must have some hexagon nut to fix the wheel onto the axle. Well, front wing. This is the front wing. That's the bottom part. That's the upper part. Well, usually the edge of the wings are a bit thick because that's the limitation of injection molding. And then here we have the seats, the side panel of the main car body, the front of the monocoque, and then the well for the racing seats, part of the cockpit. A bit simplified. Some of the details are neglected. Bottom part of the rear wing, I think, because there's the slot for the wing strut, wing support. Okay, this is the sprue. These two are the main body of the radiator. Another more detail. This is the reservoir for the 3 paddles. Some ducting. Is this the fire extinguisher? I'm not sure. This may be the fire extinguisher. And on this sprue, we have the turbocharge, the turbo. Looks a bit simplified. Yeah, the other part of the turbo. The exhaust system. And the engine mount. Well, the parts are nicely sharply molded, and there's very little flash. but I think the details are a little bit lacking, if you ask me. Okay. And here's some of the engine parts. These are some of the plumbing of the engine. Front wing, the front wing end plate. I have very strong side light, sorry, but side light can show you the different details on the parts. I think there should be a small strip of wooden plank on the bottom of the front side panel. It's actually, I think it's quite nice, not too thick. It could be thinner, but it's hard to depict all these details with photo edge unless you laminate 2 or 3 layers of photo edge parts. And here's the body part that fit into the main body. Driving the air onto the radiator. Here's the top of the body. I think I forgot what it's called. It's for the safety of the driver. This is the rear wing side panel. Panel. This strip, it's a bit thick. If you can, yeah, let the light catch it a little bit. But the rivets are, or the rivets are all there. You know. Here's the place where it's fixed to the bottom of the diffuser. Well, that's, I think that's the thinnest you can get with injection molding. The rear wheel mirror, and here's the back side of the main body, either side of the gearbox. Here's the driving shaft, the rear driving shaft, part of the housing for the rear driving shaft. Well, again, molding is nice, but the detail has been simplified a little bit. Okay, we come to the upright and also the gearbox. Here's the gearbox, or part of the gearbox, you know, the left and the side bottom part of the gearbox without the top part. And here is the radiator housing. It's a bit thick, but again, you know, there's limitation on the injection molding. The little rivets have been nicely depicted, as you can see. Focus, focus, focus. And then we come to the engine block. and then the upright for the front suspension, and also for the front and the rear upright. This is the rear, because the brake is not horizontal. It's fixed at an angle to the vertical axis. This is the front front upright. Not 100% accurate, but I think it's okay. More engine block parts. They're made the mold with slide molding. Quite nice. Details quite nice. And then in this two little screw, it's the same. Okay, these is part of the air intake for the engine, or the air intake for the carburetor. I'm not too I don't know engine parts too well, so that's what I assume they are. Anyway, it's part of the engine. This is cover for the spark plugs. And here is the cooling duct for the brakes, and some of the suspension arms. The antenna for radio with the team. And then here we have the front nose with part of the front wing. And these are the two metal plate I was talking about that fit to the side of the main body. Here are the two winglets for the rear wing. Well, judging from these two winglets, you can tell which version this car is, because they never spell out what race this car is from. So if you look into the information or do a little research, then you'll realize these two with these two little winglets, and also the shape of the side end plate, then you can figure out which race this car is from. And then we have the brake light, this red round thing. I'm not going to take that out now. And then we have the wheels. Of course, we all prefer metal wheels, you know, but I guess this is okay. That's two holes for the valve. Decent. And then let's look at the the tires. Rear tire, well, a bit disappointing. Smooth all the way. Slightly bulge in the middle, but lack of all the details of the tire on the sidewall of the tires. A bit disappointing. A bit disappointing here. We have all the engraving gone. A bit disappointing here. Anyways, that's the tire. And then again, we have, okay, I'm not going to take this out again, you know. If you build Formula One cars, 1/12 scale Formula One cars long enough, you know what these are. You know, these are the little screw to fix the suspension arm to the monocoque and the engine on the rear gearbox. And this must be some fixture for the suspension. And then we have some springs for the suspension. Now these 4 screw must be the axle from the upright for fixing the wheel onto the axle. And then some tubings, a bit too little. There must be 1,000 more tubings in the real car, you know, thick and thin and all that. Anyways, it's an injection kit. What do you expect? And then here is the die cast suspension arm. Actually, it's not too bad. For those who like to further detail on this part, you can easily, you know, file away the bracket and remake the bracket and make it look really authentic. And like the I don't know if this is push or pull, I forgot, but anyway, this is push. Anyway, this rod, you can see the details are quite nice. You have the hexagon nut, the round endings, and then another hexagon nut fixing the fixing onto the bracket. And actually, if you want to oh, this is molded together. This is molded together in one piece. Oh wow. Okay. Well, a bit difficult to, a bit more troublesome, cutting them apart and then remodel them. Anyway, this suspension arm is not all that bad, but I guess a bit of filing to make it into the right shape. It's a bit thick again. Okay, then we come to the graphic parts. Now, obviously, there's no naughty decal in this in the kit. I mean, you must buy the naughty decal separately. They are not only naughty, they are also illegal. You know, illegal decals because of anti-smoking movement all over the world. You know what I mean. So here are the decals. Okay. Oh, come on. Photo etch parts. Surprise, surprise. Oh, let me take this away. Look at that. Surprise, surprise, it's solid. It's not like etched through and see the texture of the screen, but it's really thick. So I think with such a thick sheet of, I don't know whether it's aluminum or whatever, it's German silver. Looks like German silver. Anyway, with such a thick piece of metal sheet, it's really difficult to etch through if your details are such so minute. Usually you need a really thin sheet of metal in order to etch right through all the way and still keep the detail in such a fine way. But anyway, the shape is not, or the texture is not correct. If you look at the real car, this is too generic. I think the real car, it's slightly different. That's what I think. Because I have a lot of reference for the car. Okay, here is the die cut. Oops, sorry, I hit my head to the camera. This is die cut fabric material for the safety belt. It's more like a textured sticker. And silver stamping decal for the bottom tray. Yeah. Actually, they should give us very thin aluminum sheet. Decal for the tires. It looks like normal decal, not the sticker type or the what they call rub-on type. Normal decal. And here is a sheet of other sponsors on the car. The printing is nice, except the red is not correct. And it's not even correct yellow and red for the shell logo. And then the number 12 and number 11 should be fluorescent red, as we all know, you know. And the problem, I have problem with the number 12. That's not the right shape. It's not the right typeface. Yeah. I'm very sensitive to this. And then we have, let's see how many sheets are there. 2 large sheets of carbon fiber. Unfortunately, let me check the other one. Okay, they have 2 different color. 2 different textures for the carbon fiber, but I think the texture is, I really cannot tell, I cannot see the texture too. The texture is very subtle. The pattern is very subtle, as I say. It's look like, yeah, very, very, very fine. And also the tan, unlike the color is different from the one you see captured by the camera. The camera is slightly a bit reddish. This is actually very yellow ochre. And also because of the screen and the texture of the screen of the plate, printing plate, should I say. The screen of the printing plate or the silkscreen screen and the texture, it's not working together. So they create this what we call printing. I think, you know, when in the old days when you had this problem, it's called moire. And you have to twist the printing plate angle to fix that. I guess they haven't done that. It appears in this piece of decal very obviously, and slightly on this one, and it's fine on some of the pieces. That means they haven't twisted the printing screen angle one by one. Well, so much for ranting from the expert. printing expert. And okay, here are the other sheet of carbon fiber, which the pattern is the same as the other, black and gray one. It's black and gray, not black and silver. So well, let's wait for Studio 27 to come up with a more accurate version, and then charge you $2 million for it. Okay. So that's all the parts in the kit, the decals and all the other parts. And here is the instruction. Let me sit down, zoom in a little bit. Oh, let's see, zoom in. Faster. Let me get rid of the junk. Okay, the cover. I'm not gonna go through this careful details because I plan to build this thing starting tomorrow night. If not tomorrow night, then the night after tomorrow night. And then again, live streaming my build every night. And then we can see it more detail, how the parts fits together, how the sequence of the instructions suggested, whether it works or not. Obviously, we like to build the engine first. It's the heart of the race car. Here's the engine final. Step 2 is to build the gearbox and the rear suspension. Okay, here's the gearbox with some piping and some plumbing. The disc brakes, the rear side panel of the body, and the suspension arms. And then fix the rear gearbox onto the engine. And then module 3 will be the monocoque and also the cooling system, part of the fuel injection. I think these are fuel injection parts, but I must be wrong. I'm not an expert on this. I just bullshit along the way. And then some plumbing. What the hell is this? Oil cooler? I don't know. You tell me. And then the exhaust system, which will fit the exhaust air into the turbo. And then 4 is the driving compartment, means the monocoque and the driver's seat well. The seats and the safety belt fit into the well. I call it well. This looks like a well. And then more safety belt. And this is what they call. What are these? These are adjusting something. It's not the gear thing. It's adjusting the. I forgot. You guys tell me. And then the monocoque. And then the front suspension and more on the monocoque and the part of the car body, because the side panels on the monocoque are parts of the body. Oh, here are the fixture for the front suspension. This shock absorbers, the instrument panel. And you need some metal toggle switch to replace that. These looks like shit. Anyway, and then the electronics on the back, on the hum of the monocoque. And then the front steering system. Highly simplified front steering system. And then the 3 little tank for the 3 pedals, front suspension arms fixing, front brake disc and the upright with the cooling duct, fixing of the braking system onto the front suspension arms, And then the steering wheel. This has to be the fire extinguisher. Is it like that? I don't know. Most of them are round, right? Well, I have to check my reference. And then, you know, cap, pin the monocoque. And then the cooling system, air cooler and oil cooler and all that jazz. The radiator housing, left and right, and fixing them to the monocoque. Well, there's so many pumpings, but how come we have such little amount of tubings? Strange. Bottom tray or floor. Decaling it, painting, color painting guy, and all that, and fixing of the bottom tray onto the monocoque. And then here is the turbo ducts. You know, the air ducts driving air to the turbo, and then the exhaust from the turbo. Fixing the exhaust onto the rear of the bottom tray. And then rear wing. I recognize those shit. Is it? Am I right? Chassis. Fixing the engine and gearbox complex onto the bottom tray. They don't say what that is. You guys please tell me what is that called. I understand this is the FIA's fixture to monitor the, I think, the pressure of the turbo, and then the rear wing support. The they'll call it, I forgot. I haven't made F1 models for so long, and I haven't watched Formula 1 race for so long because it's so boring nowadays. Okay, front of the monocoque, yeah. Rear wing, okay, rear wing, front wing, simple. Looks like a big block there. I don't know whether that's the case in the real car. Anyways, we'll see when we put them together. The main body, yeah, that's the stand for the main body. See? If you don't want to place the body, you want to keep the body away from the chassis, show off all your detail works on the engines and monocoques and driving cockpits and things like that. Then you have the stand to put the body shell on it. Okay, here we go. Okay, and then antennas, rear wheel mirrors. See? That's how you display the body shell. I think it would be nice if these are metal, you know, metal. And then the wheels. What a disappointment on those tires. Really disappointed. Anyways, see the wrench to fix the wheels onto the wheel shaft. And here's a list of all the screws and parts, you know, and decals and photo etch and all the hardwares and all that. And then painting guides. Yeah, I don't understand why the red area is it's lower than the white area. I don't understand. I don't understand why the red area is raised above the white area, because you usually spray white, mask it off, and spray red. And with the red, you know, level higher than the white, then you have a really steep level, steep difference between the red and the white once you paint the fluorescent red on, because fluorescent red will be thick We all know that. It will be quite thick. And then you have to spray like ½ inch of 2K clear to level them out. Jesus Christ. And then here is where you take your notes, you know. I must spray the red color as thin as possible, okay? Here we go. Here is the instruction. And that's review of the new 1/12 scale kit. Let me zoom out. From Meng 1/12 scale MP4 what a brave entry into the 1/12 scale F1 car. Clearly they don't know beans about car models. Clearly. Anyways, it's okay. It's a nice kit. If you don't want to wait for the other one, you might as well buy this one. But anyways, the other one is not the same as this one. We all know that MP4 has an early version and a late version. This is the late version. So if you want to model Japanese Grand Prix or other, you know, like later Grand Prix of that season, this is good for you. But the other one is early version. They already announced it as a Monaco race, and they're not producing just the racing version. They're also producing the practice version, which unfortunately or fortunately was a wet race, and you have rain tire for that. So I think, you know, all the family of the Formula One fans will have no problem getting both of these kits. Anyways, now as you all know, somebody already posted on the social media that, you know, Hobby Easy is already shipping this out now. They start packing it yesterday, Saturday. Of course, they cannot make it to the post office, but I'm sure they will sending them out on Monday, and many of you guys will get it in a couple of days, a week or two, you know, if you pay the airfare. And those of you who think this is interesting, you know, Hobby Easy already have them in stock, and all you need to do is log into hobbyeasy.com. Well, thank you guys. This is my first live streaming, and I'm not very good at it. I hope you don't mind me screwing up here and there, and there's so many empty modeling mat shots in it because I have to take things out, take things away. Now what I plan to do is build this thing up so that we can compare. Compare what? Compare this engine with this engine. See? See? Okay, that's it. Enough for you to look at. So until next time, until next live stream, good night and happy Sunday. You know, thank you very much. Now I have to turn this off. Let me see, how do I turn this off? Oh, I don't know how to turn this off. Let me see. Sorry, let me see how I just turn this off. So how do I turn this off? Oh, how do I turn this off? Oh, good, it stopped. It stopped. Oh. Oh, to stop. How do I stop, man? Where do I stop? Oh, how do I stop? Oh, here.